What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Need for Speed Payback. Not 2017, it's Need for Speed Payback now. So let's just get straight into the trailers and the gameplay and everything. If you haven't seen it, the links will be in the description below, so go watch those, and then after that we'll get straight into the video. So we have a lot to talk about from the Need for Speed trailers. Once again, if you haven't seen them, the link in the description. So starting off with the teaser trailer, there are a few new cars that were revealed that weren't in 2015 that I'm kind of excited about. The Koenigsegg Regera we saw being loaded into a truck, and we also saw a 350Z in the trailer, and the Wyra BC, which are pretty cool. The Porsche Panamera, the old American whatever car it was. It was probably like an old Chevy that they had in the off-roading section. Those all look pretty cool. I'm mostly concerned with the Koenigsegg Regera and the Wyra BC because that means that there are going to be hypercars in the game. Well, obviously, Need for Speed 2015 focused more on sort of like an underground-esque style street racing atmosphere. So the most high-profile car you had was probably something like the Lamborghini Aventador, the Huracan, and the 458. I believe the 458 was in there. So those are the most high profile cars. But here you have hypercars to steal the show, which definitely seems like it's going to be more fun to drive because Need for Speed 2015 didn't really have. I mean, there was a highway, but in the trailer, it seems like there's more of a wide open area, like a desert and whatnot, a desert-esque area where you can just floor it in cars like the Koenigsegg Regera and whatnot. So that definitely seems like it's going to be kind of exciting. And also in the teaser trailer, we got kind of a hint of the story. So it seems like instead of Need for Speed 2015 with the underground street racing, pretty much all you were doing is trying to impress people by doing tricks and driving fast and stuff like that. There was not much feeling behind it or much motive in terms of what why the character really wanted to do that. It was just like, hey, we're posting videos about it. There wasn't really too much to that, but with Need for Speed Payback, it seems it's going to be more kind of like closer to Undercover's tone of story and maybe even Most Wanted 2005 because you're kind of going for revenge or payback. So it's kind of similar to The Crew actually. It's going from a sort of just for fun to a kind of serious, kind of like how The Crew's story was to a small extent. So that's definitely exciting too. Now let's talk about this gameplay trailer too. Also link in the description. The seem to be takedowns now. Like in the mission, you had to take down this truck, or you had to chase down the truck and then get a Koenigsegg Regera from the truck. But to prevent you from getting to the truck, they had a Dodge Challenger, a blacked out Challenger, and blacked out BMW X6s. And so you had to hit them with your car, and when you did hit them, it seemed like they just go and just pretty much explode, kind of like how they did in Burnout Paradise when you had your road rage events and things like that. So it seems like there's going to be Criterion physics, and also the gameplay trailer showed a little bit of drifting around the corner. So it seems like Criterion physics are still there, but maybe not as present in Need for Speed Payback as they were in something like Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012, which was pretty much Burnout with a Need for Speed label on it. It was kind of a awkward hybrid of both, really. But it seems like takedowns and the drift physics are kind of back, but they're not there to take over the game like they did in 2012. They're just there kind of to enhance it and make it feel more arcadey and fun because it's not a simulation. Need for Speed is far from a simulation game, so it's kind of just there just for fun. And also in the trailer, there was obviously the BMW X6. So we don't know if this is customizable or not, or whether that's just, an AI car. But I definitely would like to see that be customizable and in the game because I think that would make a great off-road car, like the old Chevy thing that we saw. That's definitely exciting. And on the website and Twitter, they they released a little teaser photo for the new Need for Speed game, and it had the old Chevy thing. I still don't know what it's called. If you guys know what it's called, leave it in the comments. But they had the off-road Chevy, they had a modified Skyline R34, and they also had the new BMW M5. At least that's what I'm hearing. It's the new BMW M5. Of course, the picture will be up on screen. So that is definitely pretty interesting. So I'm very excited to drive that new M5 since it's going to be all-wheel drive. I mean, I know it's still an arcade game, so it's not, going to be true to life, but I'm definitely excited to drive it and to customize it, and especially the Skyline. The Skyline is just an awesome car. Who wouldn't want to drive a Skyline? So those are some cool new cars that they've added to the game, and also the Criterion-esque physics and stuff. I think that's going to be really fun to play around with. I don't think there are going to be like events like that, like where the sole purpose is to just like get as many takedowns as possible, because that would be a bit too burnout like for me. But I hope that they do the takedowns and everything right instead of just being, that being over and over and over again like they did in Burnout. And also on the website, they announced some pre-order bonuses, which are pretty cool. I didn't mention this in my wish list because I knew that they had been announced on the website, but if you order it, you get 3 days of early access, a story mission pack, exclusive deluxe edition NOS color, which you can add up to 5 cars, and you get different license plates and a rep bonus and a discount on in-game purchases. But the real thing I'm concerned about is the platinum car pack, which might be enough to get me to buy the game early. I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to save up for it. But the Platinum car pack has the Chevy Camaro RS 1967, the Charger RT 1969, the Ford Raptor 2016, and the Nissan 350Z 2008. And as well as those cars, it also has the Volkswagen Golf GTI Club Sport and literally the only thing out of this pack that I am actually concerned with, Blue Platinum Tire Smoke. Tire Smoke was something that we had in Most Wanted 2012 and never saw it in another game after that, another Need for Speed game anyway. Jump Nitrous and Tire Smoke. Those were really fun and I enjoyed having them in that game, but they weren't in Need for Speed Rivals, obviously, and they weren't in Need for Speed 2015. So I was hoping that they would show up at some point. So at the very least, we have Tire Smoke, which is awesome, especially for the drift cars. So when you pull off some sick drifts, you can have the Tire Smoke. I will definitely. I'm not sure if you can get it in game or whether you just have to buy the pre-order thing, which kind of defeats that whole free DLC thing I was talking about. But it's whatever. Hopefully you can get the blue Tire Smoke in game, and maybe if you buy the platinum car pack, you just get it early. Because I'd assume that the Camaro SS and the Charger RT is the Raptor and the 350Z. I'd assume those are all in the game for you to unlock, but I'd also assume that with the platinum car pack, you just get it early, which I can work with. I don't really care about the NOS color or anything like that, or the license plate or anything of that nature. It also mentions 5 shipments, so it seems like there are going to be shipments in this game, kind of like what you use to upgrade your car, maybe. I'm not completely sure what those are at the moment, but overall, Need for Speed definitely seems to be getting an overhaul, even from the last game. I mean, the customization, at least in the customization videos that we've seen, I'll try and link one of those in the description as well. In the customization videos, it's pretty much the same formula as Need for Speed 2015, which I am not complaining about. Basically, just point to the part of the car that you want to customize, and boom, you're customizing it. That's pretty normal so far. I think it's going to be a norm for Need for Speed 20 or 20 whatever. In the future Need for Speeds, I think that customization system is going to stick around. So that is definitely a welcome change. They did add, I think, 1 or 2 new features. So you can change the tail light color and the headlight color, which I think I'm going to be rocking blue headlights, to be honest. But that's just me. But I definitely like them adding more features that are seen on real life cars. And they might have even added neons, although I don't think so, but I don't know. And the last thing I want to touch on is the specs or classes that they added. So the classes that they added are race, drift, off-road, drag, and runner. So it seems to be taking a little bit of inspiration from the crew, especially with the off-road. That seems to be sort of like a combination of raid and dirt. Drag spec and drift spec are, exactly what they sound like. Race seems to be like it's kind of based off a circuit spec, and runner seems to be sort of like a mix between street and perf spec from the crew. So those seem to be like the cars, like in the gameplay trailer you'll see the Mustang RTR. That seems to be like it'd be more of a runner spec or class of car. So I definitely like how they're going with the whole off-road theme. I definitely think that off-road will open up so many more potential, so much more potential for Need for Speed. I think it's going to be really fun, especially if you have missions like you did in the crew, where you have to, cut across like everyone else is in high performance street cars or road cars, and then you just have to cut across in your dirt car to win the race, or even if you have to cut off another car and take it down. I mean, obviously, I don't want them to do exactly what they did with the crew, but I definitely hope that they do, add a little bit of a twist. I mean, take some inspiration. I cannot talk today. Take some inspiration from the crew and obviously put that unique Need for Speed twist on it. So probably be able to customize it more and do different things like that, like have decals on the side and everything like that, because we couldn't customize raid spec in the crew. So hopefully they do this off-roading thing right. And that about wraps it up for this Need for Speed video. So tell me what you guys are looking forward to for Need for Speed Payback, and I will see you guys in the next video.